All right, the moment has come to go over Demon Hunter, and oh my god, I have waited probably like 7 years? Is that when Hearthstone came out? Like 2013, I think, was when the beta came out. I played the beta. I've been waiting this whole time for a freaking new class. We finally got it. God, I'm stoked. All right, and it's a one-cost hero power class. Oh man, all right, we'll get into that in a second. So, anyways, if you are new, welcome to the channel. My name is Justin, also known as Shit Just Works. If you are returning, welcome back as always. And today, we're gonna be going over all, I think pretty much all, all of the Demon Hunter class cards that have been released so far. The way I'm gonna set this up is we're going to go over 1-star cards, 2-star cards, 3-star cards, 4-star cards, and then 5-star cards to close out the end of the video. So definitely stick around to the end because the best is 100% saved for last. So if you are looking to go over every single Demon Hunter card right now, you are in the right spot. But before we get started, put in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think is the top 5 Demon Hunter cards right now. So, best 5 Demon Hunter cards. We all know what one of them is going to be. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I want to know what all 5 top cards you guys think are for the Demon Hunter class. Put them in the comments below. So before we get into the individual cards, real quickly, I want to go over the actual class itself. And this hero power is awesome. Not because it's like broken or insane by any means, but mainly because it costs 1. And I'm just excited that it's different, right? It's a different hero power. We've had all these, side games that we can play in Hearthstone that have all these weird, funky hero powers that we've never been able to use competitively. Now we have 1. At least it's 1 hero power, okay? We're getting there, all right? One day, maybe we'll have more, but for now, we have 1 cost plus 1 attack. This synergizes well with a lot of the cards in the class, as you'll start to see as we go through the cards. It does allow you to get a lot of attack early, very early in the game, comparatively to a lot of other classes, because it costs 1, especially with a lot of the cheap attack boost cards that this class inherently has, Demon Hunter. It also synergizes with a lot of their removal cards as well. You'll see there's a couple cards in there that deal damage based on your attack. And then, of course, there's some new weapons to reveal as well. This does scream face. So we have another face archetype. So, like I mentioned, we're going to start with the 1-star cards. Stick around all the way till the end, where we're going to go over all the 5-star cards, which are by far, honestly, I love some of these cards that they release. And I love the different play styles that they've given Demon Hunter to get started with here. Alright, so first up we have the 1-star cards. There's actually only 3 1-star cards for Demon Hunter, which is to be expected. They obviously want this class to make a bang. So we have Ratscale Naga, we have Eldrachi Warblades, and we have Ashtongue Battlelord. Honestly, Eldrachi and Ashtongue just feel like filler. I'll just throw it out there. They look like filler, they feel like filler. They're filler. Ratscale Naga is disappointing, right? It's, to me, again, I love combos. It screams combo, but it only has 1 health. So it's going to be hard to kill your field while having this on your field at the same time. Demon Hunter does have a lot of like blow up your own stuff effects, but when this only has 1 health, it's going to die at the same time. The effect will not trigger. So until there's some sort of card that comes out that maybe makes this immune for a turn, which may very well be a thing because Demon Hunter does already have a couple cards that have to do with immunity with either the hero or a monster or minion. So it's looking promising that we get something like that. But for now, I don't see this having really any, good benefit to the Demon Hunter class. It's going to get a 1-star. All right. So next up, we have the 2-star cards, which again, there's only 4 2-star cards. So the 4 2-star cards are Satire Overseer, Netherwalker, Wrathspite Brute, and Coordinated Strike. So just right off the rip, Satire Overseer does have a little bit of synergy with War Glaives. Whenever you attack, you get a 2/2 token, and War Glaives allows you to attack twice in 1 turn. So theoretically, getting that off in 1 turn is decent, but that's like all your mana for that turn. Or if it's late game, it's not all your mana, but that doesn't really seem like a strong late game board swing to really make up for that cost. So I don't see this card really being, played that much. It does have some fringe uses, but it just doesn't seem like it's worth the 3 mana. And with it having 2 health, it's usually going to be pretty easy to get off the board. Netherwalker seems good, right? It's 2/2. You discover a card. It seems all right. The problem is, there's demons aren't dragons, first off, right? They're not nearly as powerful as dragons. However, they do have some pretty strong demons. Hence the big demon deck that Demon Hunter's probably going to come up with, which we'll see some of those cards in a little bit. Some of those are 5-star cards. The problem is most of those cards have better slots in the deck than this card, right? So you're better off playing a lot of the other cards that synergize with the big Demon Hunter strategy than this card. Doesn't seem that great of an early game drop. We'll see. I mean, maybe this has a spot as a 2-drop just as filler to get something down early in the game. Wrathspite Brute is okay. It's more of a control-y card for Demon Hunter, which we're going to see when we go over the 5-star cards as well. They actually do have a pretty good suite of control cards, but it doesn't seem to me that Demon Hunter is going to be a control deck archetype just yet. It seems to me they'll be sort of combo or aggro or, like I said, the big Demon Hunter deck archetype. So this may be good in big Demon Hunter as a 5-drop demon that also board clears if the opponent attacks. So this may almost have to be played just because Demon Hunter doesn't really have many other options. And last but not least is Coordinated Strike. There's this and one other card that summons a bunch of 1/1 rush tokens, and I don't really know what they're trying to do with this. I mean, maybe it's just kind of like a board clear option. But both of these cards I don't really think synergize well with the Demon Hunter strategy. So this is going to get 2 stars. All right, so next up we have 3-star cards, and there's 19 3-star cards that we have lined up for Demon Hunter. And I'm going to go over these in groups of 6, 6, and 7. Just kind of split them up a little bit. Now, keep in mind, some of these cards we did actually already review. I think there was 3 or 4 that we did in one of the set reviews for Ashes of Outland. But obviously, we're going to include them in with the, the full Demon Hunter review as well. So the first 3 out of these 6 are Spectral Sight, Skull of Gul'dan, and Crimson Sigil Runner. You'll notice all 3 of these draw cards. They're all decent, all right? They're not by any means super strong. I will say Skull of Gul'dan, I did consider giving it 4 stars. It's pretty good, reducing all their costs to 3. You have something like Nourish, which drew 3 cards, but they all costed, the regular cost. Obviously it had the alternative effect of gaining nano crystals, so that's kind of similar. Nourish was a very, very, very good card. I can see this being put into something like Big Demon Hunter. Obviously, drawing 3 cards in that deck is going to be good. You're going to race towards your win condition, and anything big you might draw will be reduced in cost if you do end up having to actually, summon it instead of using one of the effects to summon it. So I do think Skull of Gul'dan can be much better. For now, we're giving all 3 of these. For now, until Demon Hunter really flushes out which archetype is going to be the best archetype, we're giving these 3 stars. The other 3 are more control-y as well as far as damage and field control are concerned. We already went over Coil Fang before. I don't think it'll see a huge amount of play. Blade Dance, I think, is interesting. It goes with the whole, weapon attack and stuff like that. It's similar to the Rogue card where you destroy your weapon and deal that damage to every minion on the field. This is a little different. It only does 3 random minions, but I would argue that's better because you keep your weapon and it only costs 2 mana. I believe the other one for Rogue costed 4, right? So I do think Blade Dance is good. I think it will get better as Demon Hunter cards are released. However, again, I don't think it really has that good of a place in a sort of controlled Demon Hunter archetype right now, so it's getting 3 stars. And Sightless Watcher it's like a worse version of Tracking. Like Tracking, I might give 4 stars. Sightless Watcher just seems like it's very out of place in this class. It almost feels like it should be in Priest or something like that. I don't know, but right now it's a very average card. So these next 6 cards we have some cheap attack buffs and we have some cool weapons, some new weapons here, right? And these again are all 3-star cards. Both of these weapons seem all right. I will say Umberwing, I did consider putting at 2 stars. It doesn't seem to go with the archetype again as well, but it is very aggro-y, face, summon stuff, get it on the board, stuff like that. So I think that it might find a place in some aggro Demon Hunter decks just as an early, weapon 2-drop. I mean, that is very cheap for a 1/3 weapon. 2 mana to get it down, but 3 mana if you actually want to use it as a 2/3 weapon. Plus you have all the other attack buffs in the class. So I do think it does end up being an okay card. Warglaives of Azeroth, again, is more of a control-y type weapon. as well as aggro. So it seems like a lot of these cards they have this minor like control feature to Demon Hunter, but it's just not quite enough control to only focus on it. I'm going to be very interested to see if some sort of control archetype does come out. I haven't had a chance to play with Demon Hunter yet. And then Glaive bound Adept also has to do with attacking. Deals 4 damage if your hero attacked. I did consider rating this a little bit higher as well. It's more of like maybe a finisher to the face if you are going for the burn or aggro or face version of this deck. It does have good stats at 7-4. That's pretty good. I mean, to have that high of an attack but still have 4, I mean, you're still decently sticky on the field. 4 versus 5 health is a big difference as far as being able to get removed from the field, but having that 7 attack can really, really, really pressure your opponent, so they are going to have to focus on getting this removed, plus the 4 damage on top of that. So I do think this is a very good, well-costed card. It could be rated higher. In the face version of Demon Hunter, 5 cost might end up being a little bit too much. And speaking of cheap cards, we have a bunch of cheap attack boosts. So we have Twin Slice, which is essentially double spell. It costs 0 for +1 attack. So first turn, you could very well, on turn 1, do 3 damage to their face. So that is pretty neat that is a thing that you can do. With all the draw power that they have as well, that might be a route that you go with Demon Hunter. You just play really cheap stuff. You draw a lot of cards to get back the advantage and basically just keep pounding them straight in the face. Then next up, we have Shadow Hoof Slayer, which is another 1-drop. And we're going to go over another 4-star 1-drop that's really freaking good. This gives your hero +1 attack, and it's a 2-1. So again, just pushing more damage to their face. So theoretically now, first turn, we're looking at 4 damage to their face with a 2-1 on the field. That is pretty. That is a pretty good first turn. I think that's the most damage you've been able to do on a first turn ever in this game. I'm not sure. I'd have to do the research on that, but it feels right. And then we have Azul Horror, which is another 1-drop 2-1, except it's more of, you know, the waiting game. You get Death Rattle, another 2-1 to your hand. Again, I don't see what they're trying to do with a lot of these tokeny cards, like the Rush summon, 3/1/1 Rush tokens. You got this thing. You got the other one that we're gonna go over in a second, which is 5 cost, summon 6/1/1 Rush tokens. So it just again seems kind of out of place. Might have a use in the future for, Demon Hunter, some sort of control variant or combo variant. All right, and for the last 6 cards of the 3 stars. We have a bunch of different ones here. So the first 2, again, are a little bit more control-y. We have Command the Illidari and Soul Cleave. Command the Illidari is that other rush card I was talking about. Again, feels out of place. I don't think it'll see play, but it is an okay card. It is getting 3 stars instead of the 2 stars of the other 3 cost because it is a better costed card. And then you have Soul Cleave, which is 3 cost, deal 2 damage to random enemies, plus lifesteal. I mean, it's kind of like the Cleave card for Warrior, which is 2 cost, deal 2 to 2 random enemies, except obviously you're not getting the lifesteal, so you're basically paying 1 mana for the lifesteal. Cleave really isn't played in Warrior that much, so it's just a very okay card, and I don't really see this seeing too much play either. Now we also have 2 cards for the big Demon Hunter archetype. One of them is a 4/4, reduce the next demon you play by 2, which is similar to the Dragon card for Paladin that reduces the cost of dragons. And I do think this is a good early game drop for big Demon Hunter decks. I do think it'll be played almost because it's necessary. They do need early game cards to fight for the board and not completely get overrun by an aggro deck or something similar. And then you have Fel Summoner, which is summon a demon from your hand. We did review this card before. I don't think it's that great, but again, I think it may see play just out of a necessity, a smaller card pool for Demon Hunter. So we'll see what happens with that. We have Furious Fel Fin, which is battle cry. If your hero attacked this turn, you get +1 attack plus rush. I do think this is a good card. I think this card will get better. I think it'll end up being a 4-star card. Again, I don't think that controlling the board is really something that Demon Hunter is going to want to do right now, so I don't think it's going to have a huge spot in most Demon Hunter decks. But again, I do think it's a well-costed card with a decent effect. And finally, Inner Demon. This card is interesting, to say the least. The first thought that comes to mind is pairing it with their new legendary, Kayn Sunfury. Because if you play this and you have Kayn on the board, now you can do 8 to their face regardless of taunt minions. So pretty much no matter what you're doing, at least 8 damage, depending on what, weapons and whatnot you might already have on your Demon Hunter as well. So I don't know. This card is interesting. It might get better. It might get worse. I don't know. It's a very high-costed card as well. It's essentially 8 for 8, you know? 8 cost, deal 8 damage. You have Pyroblast, you know, 10 cost, deal 10 damage. I will be curious to see if this gets put in a Demon Hunter, you know, face deck or something like that as a finisher. All right, we are on to the coup de grace, starting with the 4-star cards. We got 8 of these puppies, and we're going to split them up 4x4. These first 4, I think, are very, very interesting. First up, we have Soul Split, which is a 4-mana cost spell that summons a copy of a demon. And now that we have seen some of the bigger demons out there, this is definitely a good card. Another card, which we already reviewed, which is included in these 4, Priestess of Fury. Copying even a Priestess of Fury is huge. That means at the end of your turn, you are dealing 12 damage, okay? Now, you cannot play both in the same turn because Priestess of Fury is 7 mana, so feels bad, man. Still, if you're able to get Priestess of Fury to stick, which you probably will, she does have 7 health, it would be pretty easy to have her stick around for at least a turn. You now essentially have a tool in your hand that is a 4-cost card that deals 12 damage. That is pretty good in my book. So I definitely love this card. I definitely love the combo potential of this card as a finisher, and I cannot wait to play it. I do think this will be played more in Big Demon Hunter as opposed to aggro, obviously. And then we have Blur and Metamorphosis, also 2 awesome cards. I love seeing the other 0-cost spell that's unique. Basically giving you an immune effect similar to, you know, plenty of other cards that we've seen in the game thus far. Like Paladin or Mage. And honestly, this card is, I think it will be in face Demon Hunter, because what it's going to do is if you are just drawing a ton of cards, it will allow you to continue to go face and give you that 1 extra turn you need to deal that 1 little bit of extra damage that'll make the difference. Because a true face deck, you know, especially against a control deck, is down to that last turn where they have like 2 cards left. The opponent has 2 life, and if they don't win on the next turn, the opponent's going to be able to start building up armor, and you're screwed. That's where it matters most. So if you can live that 1 extra turn, that sometimes is like 5, 6, or 7 extra damage that you can do to your opponent. And Metamorphosis I love as well. It essentially ends up being a 9 mana cost, deal 10 damage. So better than Pyroblast, you know, cost-wise, but it's over 2 turns, right? Now, what I will say is I'm actually not sure. See, by default, I said 9 mana because it's usually a 2-mana hero power, but I don't know if it retains the 1 mana cost for this hero power, in which case it would be 7, in which case this card is definitely a 5-star, I'd probably say. So we gotta wait for that, but I think this is 100% the finisher for face Demon Hunter decks. All right, and for the next 4, we have a weapon and 3 minions. So Flame Reaper is very similar to the Warrior Weapon Collider, and I actually forget the full name, don't. But I do think it's a good card overall. I don't think it's going to see a lot of play in Demon Hunter right now, again, because they don't really have that many control options. But I do think overall it's a great card, especially with all of the attack boosting cards that Demon Hunter has. The +1 attack on their hero power alone brings us up to a 5 attack, 3 swings. You know, basically destroy your opponent's field. So I do like that. Keep in mind though that Demon Hunter doesn't have armor, so I don't know how good this can actually be. Hence it not being 5 stars. Nethrandamus seems okay. So it's getting 4 stars because I assume that when this upgrades, it increases the cost by 1. Eventually, if you have this long enough, you're going to be summoning, you know, 3 9-cost minions, which is insane. So this is definitely a good finisher. Again, for more of a control deck. This isn't, you know, a big Demon Hunter card because it's a dragon, not a demon. So I don't think it's going to see a lot of play right now, but I do think overall this is a good card. I might see splashes in a big Demon Hunter deck just because it's a large cost card. I don't know. We'll see. Now, what will be played in Big Demon Hunter is Hulking Overfiend. This card, when pulled out by one of the cards we're going to go over in a second, which is 5 stars, is going to be nuts. This is definitely a 2 of in any Big Demon Hunter deck. I think this will 100% be played. Almost gave it 5 stars. It's going to be a staple to the deck. This is not only a board clear, essentially, but also a big, big boy on the field that your opponent's going to have trouble getting rid of. And for our last 4-star card, we have Battle Fiend. This card will single-handedly make face Demon Hunter a thing. All right? This is a 2/2 1-drop, which is already on its own pretty good. All right. Now, when you attack, it gets +1 attack. That's insane. By turn 2, or by turn 3, I should say, you're going to have a 4-2 on the board after you've already attacked probably multiple times, either with your hero power or other attack cards. This is going to make the face Demon Hunter deck very, very, very good, and it's going to make it so it pressures the opponent super fast, probably even faster than Hunter ever did. All right, and finally, the best of the best, the 5-star cards. There are 12 of them for Demon Hunter, and they are pretty freaking good. We're going to go over these bad boys individually. First up, we have Consume Magic. And again, this is more of a control card. It might also be splashed in the face version of Demon Hunter because it is a silence effect. Just in case you don't get Kane Sun Fury out to ignore taunts. This bad boy is 1 cost, silence, and draw a card. That is insane. That's better than most priest silences that have been. There's Mass Dispel for 4 mana. Silence the whole field, draw a card. This is very, very, very good. Granted, the draw card is Outcast, which is a little bit of a drawback, but I don't think it will be that hard, especially in a face Demon Hunter deck, to get this on the left or right of your hand. You're going to be running a lot of cheap cards that you can, play very quickly to manipulate your hand and get this where you need it to be. Mana Burn. I love this concept. We have yet to see it yet. You spend 1 mana, they lose 2 next turn, so you net a single mana, but you lose 1 card worth of advantage. I think this is awesome. It's a complete tempo card. I think it could be used in face Demon Hunter as well if the version that I'm thinking of is going to work, which is draw a crap ton of cards while going at your opponent's face. And this is going to be great to slow down your opponent's, control outlets. A control card that might board clear that costs 5. On turn 5, they no longer will have the mana, or even turn 6, they'll no longer have the mana. So, love this card design. Definitely will be played. Chaos Strike, +2 attack, draw a card. Another spectacular card. You lose 0 card advantage, and you get 2 damage straight to the face, if not more, depending on what other, combo cards you might have that synergize with the attack of your hero. That's also why this gets 5 stars, because in the future, when control does become a thing, something like that Blade Dance card will become very good with this card as a control option. Immolation Aura. Basically deal 2 damage to all minions. This is something that I don't think will be played right now, but it definitely gets 5 stars. This will definitely be played in the future. It will 100% be a great control option for Demon Hunter. It's so interesting to see so many control Demon Hunter cards coming out, but I just don't think control Demon Hunter will really be a solid archetype. I could be 100% wrong. I don't know, but they do have some solid control options. I'm very curious to see if that will work. And we have a legendary Altruist, the Outcast. And essentially every time you play left or right card, you deal 1 damage to everything, all enemies. And that is also another great control option for only 3 mana too. So I love this card design. I love that it plays to the new Outcast effect. Again, I don't think this is going to be an amazingly awesome card in Demon Hunter yet. I do think it's a 5-star card. I just don't think it's going to be in any sort of archetype that is competitive right now. Feast of Souls is interesting. It could be some sort of control archetype in the future, but it also, with Face Hunter, you're probably going to be killing your own minions a lot. So this is more draw power. They have an incredible amount of draw power to just go through your entire deck, basically to get your opponent to 0. I would not be surprised if a face Demon Hunter deck has 5 or less cards left in their deck before turn 6. Or maybe 7 or 8, right? So, I mean, that's pretty insane that they have that sort of draw power. And I'm very curious to see how that plays out and if that, that strategy will work. But this plays to that strategy and also synergizes with potential control archetypes in the future. Kane Sun Fury, we already went over in a previous review. If you want to check it out, the link is below in the description. This is by far 5-star. We all know why. It ignores taunt. Go face. Nobody wants taunt. Illidari Fellblade. This was what I was talking about, that it has an immune effect. This is amazing. This is basically a 4-cost, deal 5 damage, and get a 5/3 on the field. That's amazing to me. I mean, that is just a very, very good card. Then you essentially are getting the body for free, having 4 cost, 5 damage. So I think this card is spectacular. I think it's going to see splash in almost every Demon Hunter archetype, whether it be control, big Demon Hunter, or face Demon Hunter. Chaos Nova, also very, very, very good. 4 damage to all minions. Also destroys your field, though. So, again, this is primarily control. this would combo with that other 3/1 that we gave a 1-star to that, you know, deals 3 damage to your opponent every time a minion dies. So again, if there's some way to keep that alive on the field, this might have some combo potential with that card as well. Overall, it's just a fantastic effect. It's getting 5 stars. Imprisoned Antn. All right, a dormant effect that is worth the dormancy. All right, you're waiting 2 turns to deal 10 damage randomly and get a 10/5 body for only 5 mana. So you're essentially getting an extra 5 or 4 attack anyways than you would normally get for a 5-cost card. On top of that, you're getting 10 random damage. This is insane. This can also be played in Big Demon Hunter because it's a demon, and also Face Demon Hunter. This will be in probably every Demon Hunter deck. Mark my words. This is an insane card. I cannot wait to play with this. Pick commander is Big Demon Hunter. This is why Big Demon Hunter will be good. This thing is amazing. This thing will summon demons on demons on demons. It's going to be great. There's not a whole lot of big demons as of yet between Demon Hunter and just normal cards. So there's not a whole lot of options, but this is still super good. Big Demon Hunter will definitely be a good deck, and I cannot wait to play it. I-Beam is another awesome control card. This might actually be played in Face Demon Hunter as well if the deck space is there. I'm not sure. But 3 damage, lifesteal, costs nothing. Pretty good. I don't know how easy it'll be to get on the left or right side if you're drawing a ton of cards. So there's that to think of. But I do like the overall card design. I think this is an amazing card. I think this is much better than any other damage spells that have come out previously. For it to cost 0 with lifesteal is insane. So very happy to see this card, especially if Control Demon Hunter becomes a thing. This will need to be played because if they're attacking minions to kill them, Demon Hunter is going to need a way to gain health back because they don't have armor like Warrior has. So this is going to be a card that's integral to that strategy if it does become a thing. And that's it. That is the Demon Hunter class. I am excited for this baby to come out. I cannot freaking wait. Oh my god. I mean, the only thing that pisses me off a little bit is that probably everybody will be playing this. So it's going to be Demon Hunter mirror matches for days, but I'm still super excited. I don't care if it's a mirror match. It's still going to be super fun to play with a different class for once. So counting down the days, baby. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. More to come on the Ashes of Outlands set and on Demon Hunter. Cannot wait to get some gameplay footage out to you guys. So as always, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.